able to do today training-wise?
Yeah, fortunately we had an exemption. We were able to come into the club still. So it was a typical Monday, a little bit of weights, mobility review and a bit of touch. So pretty cruisy Monday, especially after a win. So it was good to get out of the house for an hour or so and see the boys.
A Monday on a Tuesday, so that's what you mean, though, isn't it?
That's how well I'm going at the moment. They've all sort of melded into one. So yeah, just Tuesday for us, obviously. So yeah, well, we were travelling all day yesterday, weren't we?
Now, is Robbie Gray itching to play, and is he capable of playing?
Well, he's certainly capable. We know how much he loves the showdown, and he was moving pretty well last week. So he'll have to get through training again on Thursday, and then that'll be a decision that Kenny has to make. But we know he loves the showdown, so it'd be great to see him out there.
What's he been able to do in the past couple of weeks?
He's pretty well executed his rehab as specified. So he was over in Melbourne doing his rehab running sessions, getting some agility in and plenty of ball work. So they've progressed as planned there, and it might just come down to the final, a few bits and pieces and boxes he has to tick before he can return.
You're in the four, you're winning. What sort of shape do you think you're in?
Yeah, I think it's pretty positive. We just continue to build. We're adding to our offense and we're controlling our own destiny. We go into each week and it's very important that we play strong footy and keep winning. And if that doesn't happen, we'll find ourselves in a position where we're probably not as comfortable. So the showdown's obviously a very exciting game regardless, but the fact that, there's a lot on the end of it for us and being able to control that destiny is really exciting as well.
You've got something back in terms of commanding territory and your ball movement. Is that working better for you at the moment?
Yeah, I think we've found a bit of a better balance there. We're struggling to score for a little while, and we've got some key parts back to add to that excitement. When you put, Rosie, Dersma and Butters back into any side, they're going to move the ball a little bit better. So we're finding that balance, and that has challenges defensively, but at the moment it's working for us.
Xavier Dersma told us last week that he wants to sweep the Crows. Is that a feeling that excites you as well, that you could set up a complete win, two showdown wins in a year?
Oh, look, we go into any game expecting to win, so nothing changes in that respect. Obviously, there's a little bit extra on the line in a showdown. There's a great hype and energy and excitement around it. But for us, it's 4 points and an important 4 points.
Did you live that theme that it doesn't matter where the teams are on the table or what they've done the week before, that something different happens in showdowns? Do you think that's still relevant?
Yeah, I think to an extent they are a toss of the coin. We've probably gone in with some favouritism the last couple, and it's panned out like that, but they certainly haven't been easy games. They've been tough and hard fought and close for the most part. So I think you've got to go into every game expecting teams to be at their best, otherwise you'd be foolish.
So who would be pressing, even though you're winning and you've got no injuries from last week, who would you be looking at as making an issue at training to keep it competitive for selection?
Yeah, well, there's plenty of blokes that are pressing on the back of SANFL form and returning from injury. So Robbie's the obvious one. Tommy Cleary's obviously waiting in the wings. That's been a challenge for him. And then, Joel Garner, Jackson Mead, and a couple of the boys that have played really important roles for us in the last month or so, in Sam Mays, Jared Lena and Boyd Woodcock are all ones that, have probably found themselves missing out because others have come back.
You've seen Sydney wear a South Melbourne jumper, Fremantle go back to the anchor. Are you a little disappointed you can't wear your bars this week in a showdown?
Yeah, it is disappointing, and it's great that those teams get an opportunity to put their heritage on display, and we'd love to be able to do that. But the decision was made, I think, in April, that we wouldn't be able to wear them this year, and now we're just leaving it to Richo and Koshi, who are still working away at that in the background.
Okay. Well, I'll hand the baton to everyone else.
Thanks, mate.
You've done the whole press already.
You've still got one, Max.
What do you got, Max?
I'll try and chime in. Hey, I just want to ask again on the bars. You've pretty much answered it there, but like, are you disappointed? I know you're not allowed to have an opinion in football, but are you disappointed that you're not allowed to run out in that Guernsey that means so much to the football club?
Yeah, it's a great symbol for our club and our people, and I think we're all disappointed that we can't put it on display, but the conversation's been had over and over again, and we're just focusing on the footy now. And like I said, Koshi and Richo will sort that out. What will be, but we're certainly not giving up the fight to wear the bars again.
Does it sort of cut you just a little bit more that you see Sydney and Freo getting around in their old kits?
Yeah, and they're great kits as well. I mean, you love those throwbacks to another era, and they're very nostalgic, and they're great memories. I just hope there's an opportunity for us to do it at some stage.
Just one more from me, again on Robbie Gray, who you've again touched on, but how close do you reckon? Or is this the sort of thing where we're probably going to need to see him in Sandford, even if he does get up to play this week?
Yeah, you don't see too many Rolls Royces at Sandford level, so I reckon if he's right to go, he probably has the right to come straight back in. Obviously, superstar and 250-game veteran, he's probably done his bit.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thanks, Tommy. TJ.
Who have I got there, Theo or?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, mate.
Yeah, I'll jump in quickly. You've won 3 in a row. If you win 4, it'll be the longest stretch of dominance since going back to 2003. Can you remember a period where you've had so much wood over the Crows for so long?
Well, no, I can't, because if went back to 2003, I was probably still going for the Crows, so probably would have been pretty disappointing. But look, it's nice to go in with some strong results on the board, but the Crows are playing some really strong competitive footy, and they go out there and they're having an absolute crack. So it's going to be a really typical showdown. It's going to be about the contested footy, and on anyone's day, they're good enough to push you the whole way. So we'll have to be ready to go.
57 points, 75 points, and 49 points have been the last 3 margins. So can you actually buy into the ladder position and what it means for each club? Obviously, it feels like this one is far more about you guys and where you're going than where Adelaide's at.
Yeah, you can definitely buy into it, because it's a reality that you have to. The Crows have played some strong footy. They've had some disappointing results this year, but they've beaten some of the better teams, and they've pushed a lot of teams. And at the same time, we've had our challenges every week. We certainly haven't had any really commanding wins. But like I said before, yeah, it's a showdown, and we love playing in showdowns and winning showdowns. But for us right now, it's about controlling our own destiny and putting 4 more points on the premiership table.
And lastly from me, mate, you look at the teams that you've beaten this year, you haven't really been upset by anyone. You've beaten all the teams you've needed to. Obviously, the question mark still remains about the top 4 sides. So what does it say about what you're doing so well against the other teams?
Yeah, I think that we're showing great respect for our opposition in the process that we adopt, regardless of who it is. So we've had a mentality to focus on us and do that, and that's why we've been able to beat the teams that we probably feel like we should have beaten.
And do you prefer an away crowd there? The last time was a Port home game with 43,000, then obviously the 2,000. Before that there was 50. Are you happy to play in front of Crows fans, or would you rather nothing?
Oh, I'd much prefer to have fans there. They're great for the game. They bring a great energy, and personally I don't mind a few boos here and there. It gives you a bit of extra fuel to the fire.
Beauty. Thanks, Tommy. Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
Hey, TJ Crouchy here, mate. Just a quick one. The Crows are obviously still working through a few things, in their rebuild, but they've proven this year they can get up to the big games, the likes of Geelong and Melbourne. Obviously you're always wary in a showdown, but how wary are you of Adelaide, given what they've been able to do against some of those premiership contenders this year?
Yeah, I think I've probably touched on it, but we've gone into every game this year with the utmost respect for our opposition, and it's held us in good stead, and the Crows are no different. They've played they play a young group of kids with thirst to work hard and have a crack, and that's always dangerous. So plenty of respect there, but also a significant focus on what we do well in our game.
We've asked just about everyone else today, mate, but what are you watching as far as the Olympics goes? What do you like? What's been the moment that you've enjoyed so far?
You name it, I've watched it. There's been some phenomenal individual performances and some pretty devastating ones as well. I think the handlebar snapping on young Alex Porter yesterday, and then his courage to get back on the bike was incredible. So really enjoyed it, and it's inspirational, and it's just been one of the silver linings to come out of a bit of time in lockdown.
Yeah, mate. Thanks for that.
Cheers.
Hey, Tommy. Just going back on to Robbie Gray. Sorry, what is it about the showdowns at Robbie Gray that seems to be such a successful marriage?
You'd have to ask him, but I think if you go through your career, you can sort of pinpoint players that rise to the big occasions, and Robbie's certainly one of them, whether it's a shot after the siren or the last minute of a game or a showdown. He certainly relishes those opportunities and loves to put himself in those positions. So, yeah, it's an absolute privilege to play with someone like Robbie, and he's one that you tell your grandkids about.
And do you have a favourite showdown memory of Robbie Gray? I mean, there's a fair few, but yeah, can you think of one?
Oh, you've put me on the spot here. There are a lot. He kicked 5 1/4 once, and that was pretty phenomenal. I think we probably just take him for granted, and I'd have to sit down and watch the highlight reel to really give you a specific moment.
Your two rucks and your 3 tools
have
proven to be really effective. Are you confident you can stretch them a bit?
Yeah, that's probably something that we've copped some criticism for throughout the year, but it's certainly showing that it has a lot of positives, and those boys are finding some form and working really well together. So it's something that's going to challenge every opposition if the delivery is right and we're getting the ball in there. So there will be challenges there with Robbie fit as well, but at the moment it's been a real strength for us.
What did you think as a strategy early on? Were you confident it would pay dividends?
Oh, mate, you're getting into uncharted territory here a bit from my point of view. There's coaches that get paid good money to make these calls. I tend to back in their judgment, and I got great belief in all of our players, and I think that's been, proven the way that they've all played their role and had their moments, and we've got a strong squad mentality, and I think Kenny and the forward line have done a great job.